Hello, Reckoning7. Welcome back to Grand Tactician, the Civil War, where I am super excited to be continuing our Confederate campaign. I've been planning and plotting our next moves since last recorded episode, so I'm excited to hopefully see them come to fruition. And what are they? Well, okay, let's talk Navy first. So I've made a couple of very minor tweaks. If I can bring up my naval screen. I've ordered another 8 frigates to be built, so this is going to supplement the 12 we're currently building. So we've got, I believe it's 6 in, oh it's only 4 actually, tell a lie, in the Pensacola Squadron, supported by a number of brigs, and then we should have, I believe, 8 in the Charleston Squadron. Sorry, 6 in the Charleston Squadron is what I meant to say, of which 4 sail frigates are finished, steam frigates are still under construction. I'm still not sold on the steam frigates. I suppose they are faster, which probably has an advantage. In fact, we're not faster. So we're not reliant upon the wind, which is an advantage, but I'm not sure how important that really is. Anyway, we've got a couple, we'll try them out. So yeah, and the reason for that is, well, obviously these things take 6 months to build, so it'd be useful to have them on the go, and probably to replenish losses, which I think we're definitely going to take. So we're still a wee bit away from the Charleston Squadron being fully operational, a couple of months. And the plan, well, the plan is to try and deal with these pesky Union blockading forces. We've got 2 squadrons blockading, well actually we're blockading all sorts of stuff. It's not only Charleston, but down at Fort Walker as well. And maybe even down to Savannah. Looks like it's escaping. And so the plan is going to be, once these are operational, there's actually a fleet order mode you can go to, which is called Raid, where you operate opportunistically against smaller detachments of blockading fleets. So obviously the theory being, if you're blockading, you know, an area of the coastline, well, you can't sit with your entire fleet in one place. You've got to kind of sail about, trying to intercept ships and all that grand stuff. So there's an opportunity for a smaller raiding force to pounce upon part of that blockading squadron. I have never used this mechanic before, but I think that's one we are going to try out. No, don't do that. Obviously, a few months for it to build. The fallback is grabbing our squadron here, which is 3 months away from having the frigates finished, sailing them round and having a big to-do and a full-on kind of fleet battle with all the ships I have at my ability against this portion of a Union army with hope to break it. That's probably going to be pretty bloody. We'll see how it goes. I'm interested though to see how this raiding mechanic works. But that's probably a kind of turn of a year before we're really in a position to start to contend that. And then maybe once we've broken the blockade of Charleston, we can then worry about the blockade of Norfolk and the river, I can't remember what that is. Because I think that's why this fort is showing as being undersupplied. But the ammunition in there is undersupplied. Yeah, interesting. The provisions are surprisingly good. Because you are within the supply network. If you go to us, it says, yeah, I'm connected. But it doesn't like it. The other thing we may do, I mean, you're massively in supply network. But it may be because this river's blockaded, it doesn't like it, even though it has supply, if it can reach it over land? Well, let's give it that one. I'm less certain of that. The other minor naval thing to mention is I took our New Orleans blockading squadron, and I believe I gave them an order. Have I given them an order? I will reassure just in case it was to move up the river. Maybe I didn't. So they can start blockading Evansville, Louisville, Cincinnati, and Covington, and start putting pressure on there. Good, naval stuff away. Okay, land. 2 things to talk about. Firstly, our invasion of Kentucky. So obviously we had a failed invasion early on in the war with 20,000 men under Zolokoffer. I can't remember how to say his name. He has now been replaced. He's in our officer pool. Zolokoffer, but at least he gets to survive unlike real life, so you know, a bonus for him. And then we now have Longstreet commanding the army here, Army of Tennessee, and they are currently besieging the Army of Kentucky, who outnumber kind of 3-2. So we've currently got a siege going on there, which I hadn't realised at the end of the last episode. There's also this Department of the West is kicking out 12,000 men. Not part of a siege I don't really know why I haven't got themselves involved, but something for us to consider. So the play here is not going to besiege them, but it's going to be to attack them. That's the first thing we do in this episode. We outnumber them. We're in good condition. I have ever so slightly rearranged the army of Tennessee. Same number of troops, but what I have done is I've taken essentially the best equipped troops with Hawes, French and McBride here having our rifled muskets, and organised them under Colonel Lee, because something tells me he's going to be a reasonably good commander, so I'd quite like to get him some experience before promoting him to ultimately as we grow our forces. So that's going to be planned, so we'll jump into that next. If we beat the Union Army and we take control of Louisville, we actually have to beat both Union armies and can take control of Louisville, then Kentucky will flip sides. So if you go into this strategy screen, under the Capture Kentucky objective, clearly says, capture Louisville, defeat all Union armies in Kentucky, and they will secede and join us. So that would be brilliant. So that's the kind of what we're going to try and do before the close of the year. Very different reality. Okay, following that, I think we're actually in a position to make a play on Washington, which I've said many times, and it's never come to fruition. But there's logic behind this. So, if we look at the strategy screen, we know the Union is currently trying to recruit up to 160,000 men. So this actually counts fielded and being recruited. 160,000 men. We know there is like 35,000 in Kentucky. There's another 10 stranded in the middle of Missouri, and we've seen we got sight of another 15 when we pushed up to Cairo, and ultimately when we fell back with very early doors. So they might not still be there, but there may be 15,000 men kicking about, which adds up to, what's that, 35, 45, 60,000-ish, give or take, finger in the air. So that would account for 60,000 of the 100,000 men. We also know there is 20,000, roughly, raiders here under Banks, who we've just given a licking to outside of Winchester in my last episode, which would mean there is no more than 80,000 Federals in and amongst Washington. And we have ourselves here, very shortly, 60,000 Confederates. And I would pit 60,000 of my boys up against 80,000 of theirs any day of the week. And I'm also aware they have recently passed the Militia Act 3, I think that came through in the last episode, so they may look to go into a period of recruitment. So this may be a short-term numerical advantage, not advantage, but a short-term smaller numerical disadvantage, might be a better way of putting it. Yeah, so I think this might be a great opportunity to try and push on to DC. I've been foiled every single time I've tried this, but let's see, we'll give it a go. Okay, but first up, let's go. Never mind the siege. Let's see if we can't smash Army Kentucky. I probably will roll straight into attacking Martin West, provided this goes well, before pushing on to Louisville, and hopefully we can take the city before either army recovers enough to come against us. But getting slightly ahead of myself, we first have to deal a blow to Alvin P. Hovey's 20,000 men in my Army of Kentucky. So we'll do it. The only advantage to the siege route is that if we besiege them and we win the siege, the whole army surrenders. But I suspect what's going to happen is before that occurs, they're going to rail in another 20,000 men army from somewhere. So I've got an advantage. I want to give them a licking now. So let's do that. Okay, so here we are on... I don't actually recognise this map. Proud Peak. Oh, battlefield of Munfordville. Oh, that's where we actually are. Anyway, no matter. I don't know if this is generated or a real battle that I'm just not picking up on. But here we go. And interestingly, and it's a bit of a quirk of the game, this one, despite the fact that we are pressing a besieged army, we've been given control of the objective, which is something I think they should change. I don't know, we're probably not going to at this stage in development, but yeah, you'd think it wouldn't be a difficult tweak to say, but if you are attacking an army, they have the defense, and if you're defending, then you have it. Because now not only do we have the advantage of outnumbering them 2-1, they are going to be forced to come and attack me. There you go. Right, well, I mean, ordinarily we just kind of set up behind a river as a bit of a defensive line, which we may look to do something similar again. There's a bit of a rise here, would actually be quite a nice place for our cannons to set up. Where else are they going to come from? I'm assuming they're up here. They are indeed. Any potential flanking maneuvers? Well, they could come all the way down here and potentially kind of hit me from this side. But again, I've got numbers, so I'm really not that concerned. So what I'm probably going to do is set myself up. I might even set myself across from a river. I don't know. I'm going to build some barricades. I'm going to set my artillery up on this hill. I'll probably refuse my right flank just in case we do come that way. And really, I'm just going to let I'm going to lean on the AI's own frailties here and let them come and try and press the attack before hopefully routing them. I think actually, do you know what? I'm going to set up across the river so then I don't have to cross it when I'm trying to get around them and mop up at the end. How cocky is that? Watch it all fall apart. Right, I'm going to go tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to set up my troops and probably advance time until the Union make contact. Alright, so it's just past lunchtime, 12:39 in the morning, or afternoon, sorry about that point. And as unfortunately predicted, the Federals are marching towards their doom. So I've set up my defences. I've got some strong parapet out front here, which has got Lee's entire corps with their rifled muskets, as well as a couple of supporting brigades from my flanking divisions. We've got Waitman kind of guarding the turning movement with Kirby Smith here protecting our flank in case of they did flank round to the right, which they haven't done. I've got a whole division here in reserve on my central position, and then I have Stuart commanding my leftmost flank. As you can see, I'm really sitting proud with the centre of the line where all my good weapons are, because I would quite like to invite the Federals to attack there. Good position with our artillery. I wish I had more of it, kind of overlooking this advance, and because we're on a slight rise, we can actually shoot over the top of our own troops' heads. So pretty pleased with this defensive setup. Now, because I had such a numerical advantage, I went so far as to put Hardy's whole division off to my far left flank, hiding in Hart's Creek, with a view that once the Federals have arrived in bulk, in fact, I'm probably going to issue an order now because it's going to take a while to get there. I'm going to issue his division to come in on the flank. In fact, let's something as simple as that would be good to help route the rest of the army. Now we know there are 19,000 Federals here, so the 12,000 men of the Western Division, I can't remember, detachment, whatever they're called, are not supporting. And it does look like we're going to come straight down the road. Surely we're going to deploy to battle lines indeed. So we do have a bit of it's probably a weak-ish point in our lines. Oh, we haven't even finished building the breastworks here. Parapet breastworks. I'm going to get that right eventually. Just about done though. At least our cannons have started to open fire. But yes, we've got a bit of a significant flanking manoeuvre on the go. Otherwise, well, I should probably do the same with this division, because if their forces have arrived and pushing centre, they're certainly not going to come around this flank. That's what army. So Smith, what I would like you to do. Are you even going to have time to do it? Potentially. I'd like you to try and get round to this position. Double line is acceptable. I'll push you off there. Got to make these movements early because it takes a long time. Sending forward a skirmish detachment, which is sensible. As annoying as it would be, it'd be quite nice if they had rifle muskets, because it would give me a good opportunity to capture said weapons. No, don't move. I'll try and right click to deselect. Well, it does look like they outrange us slightly. I'm taking 3 casualties. We should be fairly well defended. I'm kind of okay to let them have a bit of a go while they sort themselves out, and we put our snare into position. Just want to check which route you gentlemen are going. Just kind of straight over the river. Reasonable. Well, you've stopped moving though. Waiting for cavalry to get the orders on the flank here. They were just scouting down the road to see if the Federals were on putting that kind of wide flanking manoeuvre in. You are now off. Is my infantry off? Yeah, okay, so we moved en masse. I can get behind that. Slow down the flank slightly. So we are pressuring this corner point with Slack's division here. They've only got rifle muskets. Not ideal. I'm kind of okay to let them keep ferrying their troops into this position. Give it time for our flanking forces to get in place. I'm still waiting on that blooming order to get out here. Go faster, courier. Okay, at least we are shooting back here. Bold decision not to use cover. Why don't you gents scoot forward and see off these skirmishers. Encourage them to send in their main army. And happy to eat a little bit of pain here. At least our proper guns. Our division here can start firing back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get LZ here to move up into a defensive position. Help plug this gap. And who else will move over? I'll move Stuart with your lovely blue uniforms into support as well. These are my reserve brigades. That's what they're here for. We moved out in this flank yet? Ah, I should have gone even sooner. I'm not quite sure why Longstreet's gone all the way out there, but okay. You think, actually, Longstreet, can I maybe convince you to stand in the middle of your army rather than out in that flank? Thank you very much. Okay, so with the Federals concentrated over here, I'm also okay to start turning movement. Well, a bit like so. Let's get our Fayetteville's involved. And you can also get your troops over, ready to try and round upon them. Here, however, I'm kind of okay to get these guys to fall back slightly. Cavalry just, I mean, frontal charges is a bit bold. Slack's having a bit of a bad time, but he should feel better once he's got some friends to come and support him. How's our pincer movement? Smith is in position. You keep advancing, please, Smith. In fact, we'll get you to come all the way up here. You firing into flank? No, you are not. You're struggling with lines of sight. Okay. Oh! Slack's had enough. Okay, let's see if we can get on the flank. Punish them for breaking one of our divisions. Okay, I really need to... Yeah, you are moving now. Perfect. Close the trap. If you gents could start firing, that would be super appreciated. Like half our entire supply of Fayettevilles at this point. Let's put them to good use, gentlemen. Come along, French. There is your enemy. Engage it. I don't understand why we're going so close. What is your current range? Medium range. Let's go try long range. There we go. We have him sorely flanked. This should be a pretty unpleasant situation for him. Okay, oh, they are trying a frontal attack over here. Well, I'm going to have to ask Steel if you couldn't very kindly try and fall back. Gentlemen are on the move. If you could get in on his flank, that would be superb. This is going well. I guess LG's taking a bit of a beating here. Yeah, that's fair enough. You gents are all opening up on 1st Brigade here. Okay, good little concentrated fire here from the Federals. You know, inflicting a nice early bit of damage, although it's not going to serve them a long term. My flank here is a bit on the slow side. Standing up to the inflicted casualties pretty handily here. Especially considering we have them on the flank. Is a pretty good position, and you keep pushing around to the flank there. You're going to have to go and support this line. Yeah, we're up against a fairly small division under Clark. Some are remnants of our early forces. Okay, these guys are now suffering under the withering fire of our rifled muskets. And you are slowly getting into position. That's good, sir. Your lovely bright red jackets as well. This is good experienced artillery because they've been involved in the fight for so long, which doesn't often happen. You moving out? You are. Just orders, orders, orders. Takes a bit of time. I really need these guys to break so I can swing my better units in against this mob who's causing significant punishment to LZ here. How's the casualties looking? Pretty even, which is fair because I think we've not really been able so far to bring the bulk of our increased numbers to bear, but it's starting to change now. Right, you need to get up to that corner there. As to you. Let's keep advancing. We shall soon have them, provided we don't break our centre. And in fact, you may need to come in and replace these gents. Although we shall see. This 2nd Brigade's now questioning things. We're starting to appear in strength, and we should get a bit of a morale debuff as we appear behind them. Just got to get that feeling for how early you have to order your moves. Your rifle muskets. There. You are just muskets. What have we got back here? Chunk of men, and some cannons. I'd like to try and hold this position. And I think it's time to apply weight of numbers. This is starting to get promising though. I'd like you to try and engage them gentlemen from behind. I mean, they're probably going to be a bit tired and a bit disrupted, but nonetheless, I think this is going to be pretty advantageous to us as we turn up behind them all. Haven't really been using my cavalry as much in this one, apart from out here in the flank, which just seems to have worked pretty darn well. Hopefully we should now be able to see the casualties split into our favour. Why don't you take care of those horses? There we go. In behind them. It's going to be a bad day for you gents. So it has cost us some of our army in terms of routed units. There goes that brigade, excellente. If you can get you across the river. Oh, Parson's not happy. Oh, really? 44 men down and they've broken. Purely, probably because they feel out of position. Which is a touch ridiculous. Okay, there goes the second division. Let's keep rolling them up. Lines and lines and lines of musketry at this point. Good. How's the casualties looking now? Okay, we're only at the front, but only just. Hoping things increase. How exactly close do you need to be, my friend? I think in reality this would be a surrender of army type situation. Entirely kettled up and we're ready to go. Can't believe these guys are staying fight, they're being shot in the back. They may actually break my horses here if I'm not careful. They did. They also routed themselves, but that's slightly humorous. Alright, and there we have it. Victory. Pretty straightforward. Just one last division. Well, I think these guys haven't broken yet, but they're probably well on their way. And one last one. So maybe not the sterling victory it could have been. We still lost 2,500 men. We've inflicted, not even 2 to 1. So the Federals will probably won't feel too disheartened, and we will have a few people break and run. Right, just where are you? Once you stop, wow, those guys retreated super quickly. Oh well, 12 minutes to go, it's fine. Halt. Halt. Here we go. I'll take it. I was expecting them to be slightly better, but I also have to remember a lot of these guys still have old rubbishy weapons. And a victory is a victory. And hopefully one that's on the road to taking Kentucky. So there you have it. A victory at Munfordville. My army of Kentucky is fleeing in panic. We killed 400. Captured 16. 3,000 just injured. A bit of an old one. We lost 200 men, 200 missing and a bunch of wounded. And we captured almost 2,000 rifles. Excellent. Only 16 captured, that feels strangely low. Okay, good. Now, he is going to obviously run away and retreat. We have captured the supply depot, this is brilliant. And probably straight away, I'm going to say, let us go. And engage. In fact, if I do cancel. Take off the scouting orders, please. We are an offensive. Yeah, let's just head out to the Department of West. Give them a kicking and go take Louisville. Huzzah. And over here we're still moving and getting our readiness back. Alright. Let's roll straight into that little fight. Here we go. And we will do this one. I will probably do this one off camera actually, because I don't think it's going to be particularly interesting. We've got 20,000 men in fine form. They've only got 10,000. Should just roll them up quite handily. So I'll play this one through and then just come back at the end screen. Or if things, you know, fall apart terribly, I'll let you know about it. Oh, I thought I'd bring you back in just the tail end of this battle. But one day approaching evening, you see we managed to kind of collar up the Union forces in this wood line. They're slowly beginning to break. We only used about maybe 2/3 of our army. We left the kind of more shaken people over here. And see, I built a fairly big defensive line and they decided to go all the way around it. So some readjustment was required, but that was fine. We used our interior lines to change our own positioning. And it's been a fairly easy time of it. Again, casualties, you know, definitely in our favour. Not massively one-sided as you may expect, but that's just limited by your ability to how many guns you can actually get in a fight at any one time. But it's all gone pretty well. Maybe you turn and face. And I get lots and lots of experience for our rifle muskets, so they also took a fair chunk of losses. Our 5Ls are doing okay. Plains rifles mean they're a bit of a broken unit. Anybody left? No, it's everyone. They've all run away. Beautiful. Okay, so let's jump to the end. And that is the last known army in Kentucky. We didn't have any. I know. I was say we didn't have any more break. We had one more break. Our horses charged an artillery unit early on, but then got caught out by some infantry musket fire. Good. All right. I was just about there. So another victory. I'll take that, and then on to Louisville. Army is victorious. 20 guns down the drain for the Federals and 3,000 casualties. That was good. That was closer to 2-1. And more importantly, more experience and hopefully more fame for Lee and his rifled musket troops underneath him. Oh, I think it's a hard lines for Canty there. He did his job. He took out a artillery battery and paid the price. Although he could have held his men together and just retreated like it asked them to, but yeah, still. Alright, beautiful. Another great victory for Stonewall. So these guys are both broken and should hopefully retreat out of the way, which means you can come and park yourself in Louisville. We'll probably build a supply depot and probably a fort as well to help protect it as we move around. And all going well, that will give us Kentucky, depending on where these guys route to. Yeah. You're actually routing south, which is pretty frustrating. And even where you up, I mean, to actually come south and give you another whooping. Oh. Well, here's the 80,000 men I talked about. So when you live it when your math pays off. That's a lot of different armies. But essentially arriving at the same time, though 2 hours different is not a lot. We've got our 56,000 men. Yeah, that's only 82, so that's fine. Again, in the same place. This is a heck of a fight. A heck of a fight. Which we're going to have to wait till next time. So I'm going to call this one a little bit early, and when we come back, we are going to fight this battle. And as I promised, we'll click on the play battle button so it loads. And then I'll save the game. And this could be, well, this is it. We win this, we'll take Washington because they'll all retreat. That's not an easy ask. I'm gonna have to use all my cunning and guile. I think a fairly condensed formation is required. One thing I've seen from these previous engagements is the importance of having lots of units supporting each other. Because movement is so slow, especially orderly. I can have in my mind these big flanking maneuvers. They actually take a lot of time to... The army, anywhere is green, the morale appears to be broken. Interesting. We are on the Bull Run, or the Manassas Junction battle map. We are on the defensive, so we can hold Henry Hill and Matthews Hill. Federals are going to be predominantly coming from up here. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. It'll be the biggest battle we've fought today. I'm going to build some defensive lines, and we're going to see how it goes. But that's all going to happen next time. So I do hope you are looking forward to that. Thanks to everyone watching. I'm pretty excited. We win this. This could be a big boost towards our independence as our own sovereign nation. And we'll have to wait and see next time. All right. Anyway, enough of rattling on. I'll catch you then. Cheerio.